Well, hey y'all, and welcome to Janet being Janet. Okay, so today we're gonna look at Miss Without a Crystal Ball's video over Sister Wives, and I'm kind of gonna do my own reaction to it because I heard the beginning and I was like, I want to know where this one goes. So, alright, guys, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit play.
Hi, besties. It's Kate.
No, not your besties. And if y'all didn't know, go hit that subscribe button like she showed you. Because, yeah, I don't ever know who I'm going to be talking about. I don't lie.
Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Well, the tell-all was more than a week ago.
Hey, why are you so late on it then? Hmm? You're supposed to be Miss Hop to it, and I don't think you're really concentrating too much on Sister Wives, are you?
And that was the final episode of season 19. And there will be a season 20, although I don't know how.
There's going to be a season 20, which means Miss Katie is going to have her some chain coming in another year.
Season 20 is going to play out, given that so many of you don't even care anymore about.
Are you starting to admit that? I mean, are you admitting that people on your channel aren't that interested in Sister Wives anymore? Is that what you're trying to say?
This family or about the story, because as long as Kody and Robin are on the show, many of you find it just uncomfortable.
And you want to talk about Kody all the time. So I don't understand why it'd be uncomfortable for you to say his name.
I can't blame you. I really can't.
Oh, yeah, you will. If they stop watching your content, you gonna blame them.
I think at this point it reminds me of, the roll-offs. When the
You're stuttering and the because you don't know what you're saying or what you're doing, and you don't know what the word edit means.
the show has run its course and you're just hanging on by a thread and you're just working because it's a paycheck. And
That's kind of what you're doing. You don't care. You really don't. Now you care about Blake more than anything, and Miss Tyler.
you're just trying to piece together content for a show, and the show has become so different than what it was ever supposed to be about. That's how I view.
That's how you view this entire thing. You want it to fair and to go through your narrative is what you want, and you want everybody in your audience to believe your narrative on how you spin things.
The very last 5 or 6 seasons of Little People Big World, where they just kept trucking and trucking and trucking and making content, and people just kept leaving, and at one point it was only like one child.
Yeah, and that's what happens to any kind of television show. So here's my question to you, Miss Katie. If nobody is interested in them, who are you going to start covering next? Because this Blake thing shouldn't last your entire YouTube career.
Left on the show, right? Zach and Tori, and then Tori and Zach wanted to leave, and so then the show blows up and it's over. And at this point, nobody on Sister Wives has left, so they just keep going, and the ratings are still there, and the family still wants to film, but yet this show is deviated.
So you're trying to say there is an audience and you just want that audience for yourself. Is that what you're trying to say? I'm kind of confused on this one. I really am. Because one moment there's no one there, and the next moment there's everybody there.
So much that it's, how do you even have a show about Sister Wives when there's no Sister Wives anymore? You know what I mean?
How do you have a channel based on Sister Wives when you don't talk about Sister Wives anymore? These videos are always about, what, 8, 10, 12 minutes? Your Blake videos can reach over 30 minutes.
Anyway, during the final tell-all, there was something that Christine said during the season about how Kody became very focused on what the family looked like, the appearance of the family.
That's what you look at. You look at your focus is on you and only you. You don't care about these commenters. You really don't. So you saying bestie and all that, yeah, that doesn't come from a good place, guys.
And as soon as Robin came into the picture, he was heavily focused on her appearance, how she looked nice all the time, how
You are constantly talking about them too. You will find any kind of story to do on them, so you wouldn't want Kody and Robin to go anywhere.
Her kids looked nice all the time, and everyone sort of had to live up to that standard. And it's kind of ironic if you think about it, because
It's ironic because you don't have a standard that you live up to. People, you're just begging people, subscribe. I want 500 before the end of the year. Yeah, that's what you care about. They got wool over their eyes.
when the show started, Kody for sure, I mean, yeah, he was flashier, I guess, than some polygamists, but you know, he was pretty fundamentalist back.
Are y'all paying attention to where she does not know what to say? She's not, word, 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 word. It's word skip. She's forcing herself to make this content, and it's sad. But I need to go ahead and say one thing real fast because obviously my mouth ain't gonna shut. This is for entertainment purposes and only entertainment purposes. And it's just for you to have a couple of laughs and me have fun on YouTube. Alright, that's out of the way.
Then, he definitely dressed very conservatively. He didn't have a lot of wealth. The only thing that he really had at that time was he drove that convertible Lexus while literally everyone was.
Let's talk about what kind of car you drive, Miss Katie. You posted it on social media when you got a new one, and it's not like you said this is all because of my audience or my subscribers. You gave credit to yourself for your hard work.
Driving cars with like tape on them, trying to keep the bumpers together, you know what I mean? And broken down cars and broken down SUVs. But Kody always wanted things for himself to look nice.
And that's why people compare you to Kody. The thing is, you don't get on camera anymore, and you've got your audience so used to it that they don't expect you on camera.
And I guess that was one indication of his selfishness, right? But as Robin came into the picture, he always would say things like, well, I liked girls that were curvier, but it was very apparent that he liked girls that were thinner.
I don't care about body shape, Miss Katie. I honestly could care less what you look like, even if you got a bull on your head.
Because he was very attracted to his diesel jean model that was Robin Brown.
Quit sounding like you're so daggum jealous. Just quit.
Or Robin Sullivan at the time. And I recall.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here's Miss Katie telling her side.
That a hairdresser and makeup artist that helped the family when they did their first photo shoot for People magazine when the show first happened. They told me that they were doing.
Oh, so this is a private thing that you learned. You had a quote-unquote source, right?
Doing Robin's hair, and that after doing her hair, she basically redid her whole hair. So Robin had her hair like done and it looked really nice, and apparently that wasn't good enough.
And apparently she didn't like the way it looked, so she redid it. Okay. I don't think, and I don't watch Sister Wives, but I don't think that Miss Katie will ever show Robin in a positive light or say anything nice. I think it's almost impossible.
Enough for Robin. And so she had to do it the exact way that, Kody wanted her hair to be, whatever that way was. And while getting dressed and getting her hair and makeup done, apparently this person told me that Kody was just going on and on. And
see, it's a person. What person is it? Somebody close? Is it the hairdresser? Or is it somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who told you? Because you consider them sources too.
On about how attractive she was. And he kept calling her his supermodel wife. And she said that he was saying it very loudly. It wasn't necessarily in front of the other wives, but the other wives would have likely heard him making these comments because.
Okay, so you did a complete video on this, right? Everybody knows this already, correct? Everybody knows how Kody is. So all you're doing is repeating yourself kind of like I have to in my videos about you, because nothing changes.
Because they were all in the same house when this was going on. And she said that he was just so fixated on her appearance and was just making her twirl around in her like outfit with
You don't get fixated on your appearance. You like to show off the kind of makeup you have that's name brand.
her hair, and is like, "Oh, that's my supermodel wife. Oh, you're such a supermodel, blah blah blah."
I love it when she does that. Blah, blah, blah. That makes her a famous reporter.
And then she said that her impression was that Kody was really narcissistic, and she found it really off-putting that he would act like that because there was other women in the house. And
Everybody calls you a narcissist, but you won't ever own up to it, so I guess it's fair for you to call somebody else one.
to sort of put Robin up on that pedestal felt really demeaning to
Hey, my husband holds me on a pedestal. It's just that if I fall, he catches me.
the other women, as though like that's all that mattered to him. Like, oh, I've got my supermodel, so screw the rest of the family, you know? And so, it's not shocking to me.
Quit saying you know. I don't know. You're the only one that knows. Tell me what I need to know, Miss Katie. That's how you're supposed to run a YouTube channel.
That Christine would make a comment that for a long time it was very important for Kody to see what all the other women looked like. And if you recall, not long after, Robin joins the family, suddenly the episodes of the show turn into the weight loss of the wives.
Okay. And I do remember, just from covering you for so long, that I think it was Janelle who said she wouldn't mind losing weight. Now, my audience, my commenters, my people, as I like to say, y'all can get down there in the comments and tell me, but I'm pretty certain.
Did Kody ever have to have a weight loss episode? Did Kody ever have to have embarrassing weigh-ins on the show like Janelle did for years, where we heard what her actual weight was?
Maybe it's not embarrassing if she's losing it. Did you ever think about that? I'll tell you my highest weight, and I'll tell you what I weigh now, because I'm proud of how far I came.
And she was, in many ways disparaged by, personal trainers and talking about how overweight she is.
You don't sound very confident right now. Miss Katie, I'm telling you, something in you has changed.
And her health is going to have a lot of issues if she maintains this weight, which sure, there are risk factors when you have excess weight, but personal trainers are definitely not doctors. And so I always felt like
personal trainers are there to train you to get a lot healthier, to get your body in shape. Okay? And like I said, I had to have one because I wasn't pushing myself some days.
those conversations were just so degrading to her. And I always felt like,
you don't care if you degrade anybody on that family or on that channel or on that show. You do not care.
maybe she doesn't want to do this, Like, does the world need to know how much she weighs?
Have you ever thought that people don't want you talking about certain people in the family, but you do anyways because you ain't got any respect?
And then Robin would be in those episodes and she would weigh the littlest. And then she'd always say things like, well, it's so hard to be skinny. I mean, Kody doesn't even like.
Missy ma'am. I love how you talk about so many people and you're negative towards so many people. Hey, don't you gotta leave your house every once in a while? That shows you how people are really looking like out there on the roads.
Curvy doesn't even like skinny girls. He always said he liked curvy girls.
Sounds like you used to talk about like that all the time, huh?
Right, Robin. And then Janelle would have to write blogs about her weight loss journey for TLC, which I again felt was very demeaning.
Hey, weren't you a blogger? I think you wrote stories. I think you wrote a story or two about your life. So, yeah, there's that.
And even if that was something that Janelle cared about, it 100% felt like Kody was pushing a storyline.
Who was pushing the storyline when they made this video, huh?
And it felt like these women almost felt like they had to compete with Robin. And over the years, their weights fluctuated, which, again, I don't care about their weights. But
then why are you mentioning it right now? Leave it alone. Just, if they showed it on TV, they showed it on TV. They were comfortable or uncomfortable at the time, but you're the one bringing it back up. So if it was embarrassing then, it's got to be embarrassing now.
But it was so obvious that Kody was setting a bar with Robin about what she looked like that everyone else kind of felt like they had to keep up.
Do you remember when you asked your Alexa, you asked who that Kody Brown was, and then you asked who you were on YouTube? They found you, not him. You remember that? I think you laughed quite a bit at that one now, didn't you, Miss KT?
And that's not fair to anyone, because at that point he had been with those women for a long time and he should just love them for who they are. And he shouldn't care if they're a size 4 or a size 14.
Yeah, but their personalities changed. You have said their personality changed. That's why they're not together anymore. Come on, woman.
Right? It doesn't matter. It's
Quit saying right. Just stop doing that. You're supposed to be the one that's right, not me.
what's inside, which is what Christine Brown said at the very beginning. And so with it coming full circle and with Christine finally saying, you know, Kody always wanted everyone to look nice and
I don't think you wanted Christine to find happiness, because it was more of a story when she didn't have any happiness.
preferred Robin and Robin's kids because they were always put together over everyone else. It made her feel bad.
You know, something I don't understand. Yeah, y'all have already clicked off, so I'm talking to myself and entertaining myself, and I understand that. But here's something I don't understand. You like to say that Kody is all about Robin's kids, and you want all the kids to get together because they all have the same father. It will except a couple technically, but yeah, they are all Kody's kids. You want them to get together. So why do you always say Robin's kids? You don't really say Mary's kid, Janelle's kids. You call them out by name.
It made her self-esteem go down. It was hard on her. She never felt like she was valued. And then when Robin comes in, then out of nowhere, Kody writes a book with them and says that he was repulsed by Christine.
Okay, he was, and maybe Kody shouldn't write certain things, but you know who Kody is as a character and a person. So you should expect certain things out of him.
When he married her, when he first met her, because she was chubby and she was eating nachos. Okay?
I remember that. I actually remember that one.
And he was interviewed in a tell-all where he said that he was grossed out. And in the book, he said it put the brakes on his feelings for her about whether or not he wanted to marry her.
But he did anyways. Once again, that's who Kody is.
Which was really shocking that he would even say that, because while he was talking about that, he was sitting on the couch next to Janelle.
Do you think he gave two rats bottoms about it? No, he didn't. He's the type of person, he's going to say what he wants, when he wants, and where he wants, and it's a lot like you.
Who at that point was overweight. And who at that point, like, how does it make your wives feel if they've put on weight after having 6 kids, which, by the way, we all go and fluctuate with our weight. I don't care.
Yes, you do. You care. Because you're trying to say, I feel sorry, but without saying, I feel sorry, because that's not in you.
But what do you think that did to Janelle to sit next to him and be like, I was grossed out because she was a chubby person eating nachos? Do you think that helped Janelle feel good?
Do you think this is helping them in any way?
Probably not.
You answered that one.
And over the years, it was just incredibly obvious that Kody wasn't attracted to the other women. He wasn't. He was only attracted to Robin. And it didn't matter how many times he said things about how he liked curvy women.
So, since you pick on Robin's physical appearance all the time, and I understand she's on TV, which allows her to be an open person for you to talk about, you ever thought about talking about yourself occasionally and not just, talking about the sad stuff?
It didn't matter. It was obvious his preference was Robin. It was obvious.
It's obvious that's the one you want to go after.
And so when he did a podcast interview like in 2023, and he made the comment that, when he met Robin, it was like he met the trophy, the pinnacle of his success.
You know what's bad is she remembers all these years, and I can't remember what I did yesterday. Don't act like I'm alone in that one.
Finally married and found his diesel jeans model. Like he was enamored with her figure and her appearance and her image.
You understand that Miss Katie is saying the same thing over and over, but using a different word. You're catching on to that, right?
Her image. Her image is what he wanted. So be that if you will, whether you believe she's beautiful or not or whatever.
Why are you even going to judge her? You can say you don't judge her, but you do. So therefore, you need to get your face on camera so people can judge you.
I really don't have opinions on Robin at all.
You talk about Robin all the time. You got opinions just like I got opinions, because that's all this is.
I think all the women have, they're all beautiful in their own right, but it's not fair to place someone on a pedestal like that. But
they're, on the right, but it's not fair. Okay, there's a lot of things not fair that you do.
Apparently, Kody wasn't just placing his wife on a pedestal, he also did this with his kids. And so on Patreon, while they were going through and watching this episode, Tony made a comment about Kody that
on Patreon. Whose are you watching, Miss Katie? Because you watch every single one of them you can.
I don't necessarily think,
or sorry, could, because you don't really do content on them.
McKelty liked, but I think it was true. And he did say that for the longest time, when it came to Christine's kids, Aspen was his favorite of.
Okay, I don't need to hear all this. I don't. Because if one of them are listening to this, I don't think it's fair.
All of the kids. Because Aspen was the prettiest. And Aspen was the one that was always done up and always did her hair and always wore her makeup and always looked the nicest.
From what I understand, the family does listen to you occasionally. How about you not explain one person being that way and not understanding that all the kids dress the way they wanted to dress and it's a preference when they can have one?
And so she was his favorite because of how she looked, not because of how she acted, not because of her intelligence or her humor.
So you're not saying she's intelligent or humorous? Is that what you're trying to say? See, Miss Katie, you keep tripping on them words.
Or her kindness or her commitment to the family. It was because of the way that she looked. And he apparently would place Aspen on a pedestal.
See, you and this pedestal. How many pedestals do you have in your house that you stand on top of?
Against the other children because he liked how she looked. I also think he had similar feelings about his daughter Isabel.
Lady, you already said that he doesn't like certain ones of his kids. You already said he had one favorite. Now you're going to say he has another favorite?
Which is, I think, part of the reason why he didn't want her to have that surgery, because he didn't want her to have a scar to make her ugly. I mean, he was really, really angry about the fact that she would have a scar.
You talk about people's bodies all the time. What if she doesn't want you talking about the scar?
As though some sort of scar is an indication that you're no longer perfect or there's something wrong with you, right? But
the thing that's wrong is anybody expecting somebody else to be perfect. That's the problem.
I also think that he had an affinity for Isabel because Isabel is so beautiful. I mean, there's no denying that Christine's daughter, Isabel, is gorgeous.
How about they all are, Miss Katie? How about that? How about everybody that you see is beautiful in their own way or something like that? Because you don't understand how bad you sound.
I mean, all of the girls are, but she's stunning. She's almost 6 feet tall and she's got long blonde hair and, she's just a beautiful girl.
Well, just because you find somebody beautiful doesn't mean everybody's going to find that person beautiful. So that's why you don't speak on it.
And I think Kody had a thing for the girls that were thin, tall, and pretty, right?
What kind of thing? What are you talking about? Huh? What? Ma'am? What? No. No, ma'am.
So Tony says that Aspen was the prettiest or the most put together. And so she was the favorite for a very long time.
You know, I'm rarely speechless in life. I really am. But sometimes when I watch you and the other people that I talk about, I go speechless because I just can't fathom the words that are coming out of some people's mouths.
And then McKelty got upset and had to admit, that she's never really been his favorite. And then she mentioned that the only time she was ever his favorite was the brief period when she was forced to mediate between
Man, you sound like you're talking about a Duggar sometimes when you're talking about sister wives.
Christine and Kody and Robin after Christine left when it came to Truly, and had to be like the person that did all the handoffs for Truly when Kody would come to see, or, if they were having to deal with, visitations.
All right, you're already boring me. Come on, pick it up. You got the monotone going. How anybody watches you, I don't know. Half the time, I don't even know how I listen to you.
Stuff. She was like the go-between.
Oh, yeah, I listen to you like this. I mouth you the entire time. This time, I just got a microphone.
Or even the go-between on any communication between Christine and Kody. And that made her his favorite for a while. But it just got me thinking.
Uh-oh, we're all in trouble with that word because she's saying thinking, not my opinion, not allegedly.
That it's creepy as hell. Creepy. That
Hey, I get that word. I understand that word. Like I said, I'm not part of a normal audience.
Father would place that on a child and would categorize his children based on appearance.
You know what? I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But if everybody doesn't want to down in my comment section, they're more than welcome not to keep their mouth shut. But maybe you need to look at yourself sometimes.
And make decisions on who he likes better based on what they look like. And so when Christine was telling Suki in the tell-all that it just all became about what everyone looked like on the outside.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to be so respectful to you, you do not even understand how respectful I'm trying to be. You just don't get it.
And not about what was on the inside. And he lost sight of that. It's true. I mean, if you have all of your wives fighting about who's going to be the most attractive and how they're going to keep up and look like Robin, it's going to trickle down to the kids. And so...
Yeah, and certain things affect the kids, especially how you talk about your child and what you tell others about your child, Miss Katie.
If you start objectifying your children like that, you're almost sexualizing them in a way.
Stop it. No. How can you even think that way? That would never come to my mind. I don't want it ever in my mind. But you can go that far? I don't see how.
By making them have to compete to be the most attractive for their father. It's very...
That sounds bad. That sounds very, very bad, Miss Katie. No. What you saying? You ain't watching.
Disturbing. No father or mother, frankly, should be quantifying and objectifying their child in that way and deciding and giving love based on appearance. That's going to lead to insecurity.
And you know what? You can speak on that, can't you? You really, really can, Miss Katie. You know, I was going to name this video one thing, but I think I'm going to go ahead and say this part. You're disgusting.
Feelings of poor self-esteem. If a child is not living up to others that are looking a certain way, it could lead to maladaptive behaviors like eating disorders.
You got to spend a lot of time with your kids. Work isn't everything. You've got to make sure your kid knows you're there if your body's there, especially, and not shush them off.
It could cause anxiety, depression. It could contribute to problems with their weight, whether, like I said, eating disorders.
Quit. You know, there are channels that cannot say those words or they get slapped on the hand for it. Do you know that? It's called ED. And another community is not allowed to say that. And how you get away with it, I don't know.
So he's putting such a toxic system in place And it's really no wonder, if you think about it, why he is so obsessed with Aurora and Brianna then. They are always dressed up whenever they're on the show. They always
I don't even like the way that this is going in my mind because of all the things you said. I don't like it, Miss Katie. I just don't.
look super good. Their hair is always curled. They're always wearing makeup.
Hey, I have curly hair. What you gonna say about curly hair? Mine's always curled. Uh-huh.
They're both tall and thin. They're both beautiful. It's like
Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Woman, get a mirror. It's mirror time.
he just wanted the picture perfect family, and he just wanted to throw away everyone else that didn't fit that image. And then he made his daughters have to compete for his
What is this video about? I don't know what this video is about. Honestly, I don't. Because it's been up, down, all around. So is this video about his kids? About his kids that he likes and what he doesn't like? Is it about the show itself? What is this about? I don't understand the point in this video.
attention by how well they dressed, how thin they were, how pretty they were, objectifying them.
You understand you're saying were, right? The word were instead of are or is.
That's disgusting, Kody.
You're disgusting, KT. And yeah, that's my own opinion.
You're a creep. And
You've already said that before, so you're just... Have you ever heard that people compare you to Kody Brown and Robin Brown? You ever heard that before, Miss KT? I'm just asking you if you have.
you know, I don't know that McKelty wanted Tony to say that, but I'm so glad that he did, because it exposes what we've all been feeling about him for a long time.
It gives you a storyline is what it gives you. It gives you a chance to make a video on here and blurt everything out. And that's why you're happy, because of the ching lining your pockets.
That he's just has very unhealthy feelings about women and children. And
No. Guys, if y'all are listening to this, please tell me you're hearing this the same way I am. Please tell me you are.
appearance, and it's destructive. And I will always find it ironic that it's like he's so focused on, Robin, and
You're so focused on work, and that's the only thing you want to do most of the time, and you have admitted it.
what Robin looks like. But Robin, her personality is like the grossest of all of them to me.
Yeah, to you, your opinion.
Her personality is so vindictive and so manipulative and
Really? Really? That mirror sure ain't teaching you nothing, is it?
so narcissistic. It's
Comparison, there you go.
herself, that it's almost as though he had no care or concern for the people that actually had good hearts and kindness and valued.
How would you know anything about that? Because all you want to do is get on here and trash people. That's what you like to do. Oh, I guess in a way I do too. Yeah, I think about that all the time.
The family. He cared less about the value of what the women brought to the table, of their like devotion to him and to the family and to the kids and their commitment, than he did about what they looked like. And
What's sad is there are people that have commitment to your channel. As soon as you post a video, you'll have like 300 likes immediately. Nobody has to know what you're talking about. They just gonna like it. And I'm just sitting here wondering, what if the video sucks? If it sucks, does that mean you still like it?
he threw it all away for a woman that was 11 years younger, that was just thin and, in his eyes, pretty.
I want to see your analytics for your sister wives content. That's what I'm curious about, to see how long people are actually listening. Because I know people don't listen to me when I do these long ones, but I do these kind of for the ones that do listen and myself, because obviously I got a lot to say to you.
That's it. And he says he would never do polygamy again, but I guarantee you, if he could have a harem of like all of the robots looking just like Robin, he'd probably have more wives. That's just my opinion.
Oh, there that word is, my opinion. You should have said that in the beginning, that everything's your opinion, because I always put it in here that everything I say is my opinion, and I'm just running my mouth.
So, what are your thoughts
I already told you my thoughts. I do every time when I have a video like this.
about this idea that he's, in a way, sexualizing his
Stop. Stop, 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 stop it! Stop!
kids and making determinations on how much he loves them based on their appearances and placing children in a hierarchy? What do you
I don't like where your mind has gone during this. I really don't like it. I don't.
think about that sort of confession by Tony about what he witnessed of Kody? Do you think that's normal for a father, or do you think it's not normal?
The fact that you have to ask that question says a lot. That isn't even something that needs to be asked, Miss Kaiti.
And what do you think about Kody's just obsession in general with appearance? Tell me in the comments below.
Yeah, y'all, please get down there in my comments, please. And tell me I'm not alone in this, please.
Make sure to give this video a thumbs up.
You don't have to thumbs up this video. I understand if you don't, because I am talking about her and this subject.
Make sure to subscribe to my channel.
And you know what? If you're not subscribed, you're going to choose to subscribe or not subscribe. I've learned that one, but I'll still ask you to just because.
If you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video.
And if you don't want all the notifications from me because I don't only cover Miss Kaiti, that's perfectly fine as well. I ain't like her. I don't have stipulations on my channel.
Thanks so much.
Stop it. Okay, so there we go. What did y'all think? I mean, by the end of it, you could tell what I thought. I couldn't have a good uppity moment talking about her during this one. And this one sounded gross. I am so sorry, guys. Y'all don't have to agree with me, and it's on your own opinion. But it sounded kind of gross to me. And I didn't like it. I don't like it. But y'all, you know, you may say, Janet, you're thinking wrong, and you know what? I'm open to that in the comments, but I'm not going to say any more to you. I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, holiday, year, whenever you might be watching this, and remember to smile today or make somebody else smile, 'cause it really can make a difference. Yeah, I have completely messed up my computer, so I don't know when my face is going to be back on there, and I'm trying to fix it, and I'm not very smart, and I ain't got much time to fix it. Y'all know I do these things late at night, and there ain't nobody awake to help me. Go in there and get my child. Hey, figure this out. And he's already like, Mom, I don't know that problem. Oh, the lives that we lead sometimes and the things that we get to smile about. All right, guys. Y'all just make sure you have a good one for me.